Welcome to WYCC.org for In the Loop, the After Show. Joining us today are Robert Starks, Professor Emeritus of Political Science at Northeastern Illinois University, Mike Turson, Public Relations and Marketing Manager and former public address announcer for the Chicago Cubs and Wolves, and Gaynor Hall, reporter for WGN-TV and anchor for CLTV. Thanks again for joining us. Wanted to continue our discussion of the signs going up in Buffalo Grove in the Park District aimed not at the children who play there, but their parents. We'll take a look at one of those signs. One of them says, "No one shouts at you in front of other people when you make a mistake, so please don't yell at the referees. We don't have video replay, so we'll go with their calls." Now, Bob, should we smile when we hear about this or be sad that they're necessary?
Well, we will smile, but I wish they had had some signs like that when I was coaching my son's team, because the moms were more vicious than the dads. I mean, I had one point where the mom came out on the field and ran her son around the bases. I mean, it's really wild.
One of the points that you make in this campaign is that very few of these children are going to grow up to be Derrick Rose.
Precisely.
They're going to grow up to be like us,
Yeah.
average amateur weekend
Yeah.
athletes. And so that takes a little bit of the pressure off,
Well,
I think, for the parents.
You know, I think the point is, though, even if a kid grows up to be Derrick Rose or, you know, a professional athlete in any sport, at the age they are when they're playing these youth sports, sometimes 5, 6, up to 10, 12 years old, you know, that's kind of the target age I'm talking about here. They're still learning the game, but more importantly, they're not out there thinking, I'm going to be a professional athlete and this is my preparation for it.
Precisely.
They're out there because their friends are out there and they enjoy the
parents.
game and it's fun. And, you know, kids are competitive. Kids want to win. This is not about trying to take competition away or saying everybody's a winner. This is about adult behavior, inappropriate adult behavior at youth sporting events.
It is unfortunate that you have to remind parents that they need to set an example for their children on the field and off the field. But I love the point that the sign makes. Just chill, relax, breathe, take it easy. It's not that serious.
And very often, as I recall, my kids are older now, but when they were involved in these youth leagues, I mean, it was the parents. It wasn't the kids who were, you know, doing this bad behavior.
So maybe Sarah Palin had a point. So what's the difference between a soccer mom and a pit bull or whatever? She was right. Lipstick.
Well, we're talking about training our young people. The City of Chicago Public Health Department has put out a provocative ad campaign which shows a young boy who is pregnant, and I think we may have a picture of that. And what about that, Mr. Starks? Is that an appropriate message to be sending, showing this pregnant boy?
I really haven't made up my mind as to about the image, but the fact that we're now putting emphasis on the young men is very appropriate, because in most of the campaigns it's always putting the onus and the burden on the young women. But I think if we put an equal amount of education and emphasis on the young men, we can really begin to solve the problem of teenage pregnancy.
Mike, you're a marketing guy from that perspective.
I think this is brilliant. There's another campaign out that shows kids smoking. They say, I smoke in the car, I smoke at the dinner table. And it's a campaign about the effects of secondhand smoke on children. Another brilliant marketing campaign. I put this in the same category. It just makes you stop, think you can't help but see it and notice it and remember it and talk about it. I mean, that's the essence of successful marketing. And I think Bob's right. I mean, as a society, the responsibility should be equally on young men. Absolutely. I think it's a brilliant marketing campaign.
I agree. The message is good. I think I'm wondering what else they're doing in terms of getting that image out to the young people. Seems like there should be some kind of social media aspect to the campaign as well, besides
That's where young people live.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. The schools should be tweeting those images. And
When you look at the statistics, Chicago's teen pregnancy rate has come down, but it's still 150% higher than the national average. So is this a way to lower those numbers?
Well, I hope so. Now, what I've read is it worked in Milwaukee.
Right.
So hopefully it will work here. Hopefully.
It can't hurt. You know, I think that with like a lot of things, you do a little trial and error, especially with these types of campaigns. But I think it might not solve the problem, but it's not going to hurt, and I think it could do some good.
It's definitely a talker,
Yeah.
pregnant boy.
And disturbing.
And among the talkers, we see a proposal in the City Council of Chicago to crack down on littering with some heavy fines and even getting your car towed. Is that too much?
It is too much. But you know what? We live in Chicago. We've got the high parking meter rates, we've got the red light cameras, the high gas prices. This is just, expected.
I think they're heading in the right direction. I do think it is excessive. The fine is very high, and I don't think the consequences are necessarily justified. But I think they're right. I think that people who toss garbage out their car window or
Littering
who
is
litter, that should be addressed. I think some of the worst offenders are smokers who throw cigarette butts out their car window. I mean, that is littering.
But to have your car towed?
And impounded.
That's a bit excessive. And it only adds to the image of Chicago Bull on the cover of Time magazine. I just think they left the Y off on that.
All right, on that note, we have to wrap things up. Robert Starks, thank you so much. And Mike Turson, Gaynor Hall, we appreciate your time tonight. And we'll see you next week.